just to throw the hula hand. They feed in the coolies, they water in the draw. Their tails are all matted, their backs are all wrong.
The Adventures of Cowboy Jessie and Cowboy Earl by H.R. Hunsaker. Tonight's episode, The Secret Journey.
It was rodeo time in the big city, and the trail riders were streaming in from all directions. A gentle rain had engulfed the whole area as Earl meticulously saddled up Tego. Earl was dressed to the nines in his best riding gear and duster as he mounted Tego and trotted outside of the barn. Jessie was under the awning, tending the star, and was taken aback by Earl's presence. "Where are you going in all that get-up?" asked Jessie. "I'm going for a ride," replied Earl. "There's someplace I need to go." "You're not going to the rodeo, are you?" asked Jessie. "Jess, you know I ain't going to the rodeo. That whole thing tears up my insides." "Where to, then?" "I'm riding up to Bryan, Jess," said Earl. "There's something up there I need to see." Well, let me go with you," said Jessie. "Suit yourself, Jess," replied Earl. "I'm ready to go now." Jessie hastily saddled up Star and was ready within minutes. The two cowboys pointed their horses northwest and dug in for a long ride. The rain was slow and relentless as they rode throughout the morning. Just past noon, Jessie sighted the first Walmart and Costco, standing as pickets on the outskirts of College Station. The two cowboys trotted through town, past the university, past the old hospital and park, and worked their way through the neighborhood that set several streets off the main. Though Jessie hadn't bothered to ask what this was all about, he sat puzzled as Earl brought them to a stop in front of a dilapidated old house. For a few moments, Earl sat motionless and stared at the house before dismounting Tego and handing the reins to Jessie. Earl carefully walked up the sidewalk, noting each dead tree and splintered board. He reached the front door and pulled a chip of cracked paint from the siding and studied it. He discarded the paint chip and peered through the front window. After a few moments, Earl stepped away from the front window and walked back to Jessie with his head down. He turned away from Jessie and took off his hat and stood there with the rain pelting his face. Avoiding eye contact with Jessie, he took the reins and remounted Tego. "My God, man," asked Jessie, "what's wrong with you?" Earl's eyes were bloodshot red, and the rain did not hide his tears. "There ain't nothing wrong, Jessie," Earl said with a broken voice. "It's exactly how I'd pictured it." "Then what is it, Earl?" asked Jessie. "Why are we here? What is it about this house?" Earl shook his head as to dismiss Jessie. "Earl, I rode all this way with you." "That was your choice, Jessie," Earl snapped. Jessie spurred Star and maneuvered him around so that he and Earl were face to face. "I'm asking you nice, Earl. What is this house?" Earl put on his hat and dried his eyes. He pulled back on Tego and gave himself a little distance from Jessie. Earl took a deep breath and moved in towards Jessie. He looked over at the house and back at Jessie. "Jessie," said Earl in defeat. "Jess, it's where diamonds are cut." Jessie sat puzzled. "Diamonds? What's that supposed to mean?" "I said it, Jessie, and that's all you need to know." Jessie didn't say another word and knew to leave it at that. The two cowboys turned around and rode back towards home, leaving the broken little house behind. Earl started to feel bad that he had let Jessie come all this way without so much as an explanation, so he let Jessie talk him into linking up with a trail ride coming out of Brenham. Earl played along, and they followed the ride past the ranch and all the way into Memorial Park. Later that night, a band struck up in the park, and a makeshift dance ensued. Jessie had made acquaintances and went to the dance while Earl stayed back and tended to the horses. The end.
And raring to go. Old Bill Jones had a daughter and a son. One went to Denver and the other went wrong. His wife, she died in a pool